Intense focus will bring out in you resources you don't know you have. There's a story behind that. This is your daily message from Chad number 763 to upgrade your mental game today by telling yourself a better story. Because the most important story you hear is the story you tell yourself. And this message is dedicated to Maddie Smith, who has 4 years of focus ahead of her. Ed's 3-year-old daughter Jennifer asked a simple question. Why can't I see the picture now, Daddy? That question got Edwin Land thinking. This was 1943. Photography had been around for over 100 years. However, from the time the picture was taken, the roll of film was used up, to dropping it off at the drugstore until the pictures were developed and ready to be picked up, could take weeks or months. What if you could look through a viewfinder, push a button, and seconds later have a dry, full-color photo in your hand? That was the idea that led to the creation of Polaroid. Edwin Land had a working instant camera within 3 years. It would take nearly 30 years for the SX70 to be introduced to the public in 1972 and finally match his original dream. This extended timeline reveals something profound about Land's approach to innovation. Land created an environment at Polaroid where prolonged focus was not just tolerated, but expected. In one remarkable example, Land asked Howard Rogers to start thinking about how to produce color instant pictures. For 2 solid years, Rogers just thought about the concept. Then he came to Land one day saying, "I'm ready to start now." As Land explained with pride, "My point is that we created an environment where a man was expected to sit and think for 2 years. Land would say intense concentration for hour after hour can bring out in people resources they didn't know they had." This story shows how focus can be a competitive advantage as well. When Kodak engineers finally witnessed the SX70 demonstration, they dubbed it a masterpiece of engineering and were amazed and disturbed by its elegance. Despite Kodak's attempts to enter the instant photography market, they discovered that Land's decades of focused development had created an integrated system where each component interlocked with every other. The optics, mechanisms, chemistry, and film manufacturing. There was no way they could catch up with the technology. So they stole it. But this revealed Land's power of focus too. He filed patent infringement. The case began in 1976. The case was fully settled on July 15, 1991, when Kodak agreed to pay Polaroid $925 million, ending all appeals and marking the largest patent infringement settlement in U.S. history at the time. The better story to tell yourself is only sustained focus will reap all the rewards of your ideas. How many inspiring 3-second questions have filtered through your mind during your lifetime? Like Jennifer's question to her dad. How many of those 3-second questions have you given 3 years to inventing and 3 decades to perfect and another 30 years to defend? Edwin Land's story is the most extreme example of focus I've ever heard. Only intense focus, sustained concentration for hour after hour will bring out in you resources you don't know you have. Tell me a story of focus as a competitive advantage to fromchadsmith@gmail.com. You can always leave a comment on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can download my book, The Most Powerful Story in the World, by going to fromchad.gumroad.com. The transcript of this message and hundreds of others are always available at www.fromchad.com.